Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at the Spring Cup. We're going to have a team here which is basically those Pokemon are going to be like everywhere. Honestly, like those Pokemon are really good right now. First game here, we're going to encounter a horrible lead. That's basically the worst lead possible, I guess, a Ferrothorn, because it's going to be able to even resist a fast move of our Pelipper. In comes a Mantine. We will be able to go for an Hurricane and do some decent damage, but we are shield down. And Mantine actually might be a little bit better than Pelipper. I would also recommend it maybe even for this team here because of the extra bulk for this Pokemon. Sadly, we only get to one move here, which I wish I would have got to another Weather Ball there as well. Would have been able to do some pretty decent damage there. I will be able to farm down and get some energy, which is nice. But of course, horrible lead there, lost switch already, and we're going to have to now swap into our Pokemon here, which is going to be the best Pokemon most likely, the Weezing here, and we see the Ninetales. I have to go for the bait here, kinda, because I kinda need the damage on the opponent. And they're going to call it, and this is going to be a game. That's going to be already a game. I'm going to forfeit after this one here as well. Very good call by my opponent, but of course also kinda RPS. The next opponent we're going to see here, Lantern against Trevenant. Seems like grass types are pretty common in this meta right now in the lead. We will see like later on how it's actually going to go. I think this team here that we are playing is pretty decent. I think that's going to be one of the best teams that you can run in this meta right now. Lantern will be very decent against all the Tentacruels, which you're going to see quite a bit. Tentacruel going to be so insanely good in this meta right now as well. We will be able to go for an Hurricane against the opponent, which is going to get the shield from them. I'm going to let this move go through, and I'm just going to go ahead and get all the energy in the world onto our Lantern. But they're actually going to go ahead and go for two charge moves here with the two Weather Balls. I can swap out and they're going to stay in here, which allows me to farm them all the way down. And now they're going to swap into their Trevenant. I actually don't have any clue how much a Brutal Swing does here. Honestly, zero idea. So I'm just going to go ahead, let this move go through, go for an overheat here, let them get more energy against me as well, so they get less energy with the other Pokemon. So, here we don't get to another charge move most likely, but they will go into a Dugong, which means our Lantern will have a great time here. We'll be able to beat both of the Pokemon of the opponent, and this is going to be a good game. They misclicked, I think, and they didn't go into the Dugong against my Pelipper, which would have completely kept the RPS of the game. And yeah, that's going to be, anyway, in general, the theme of this meta. I feel like RPS is going to be a lot of things there, like rock, paper, scissors. You're going to have a lot of teams that are going to completely hardwall you. There are going to be a lot of teams that you're going to completely hardwall. You have to be prepared for that. I think this was the video itself for like New Cup where my results were the worst ever. Like I still won quite a few games, but I lost like a lot of them. Mainly actually because I really played bad. Of course, a lot of times my opponents also played very well. As you also saw before for the first game there where they called the bait there correctly. Very nice play by them. But here we're also gonna get completely walled from this Lantern. That's kind of the issue with the Pelipper Say-Swap. There can be always a Lantern in the back, but honestly, like at this point of time, you're just gonna get RPS'd anyway. So there's like just a lot of times where the team just gets hard walled, and I think that's going to be for like a lot of teams in this meta the case. Here we can go still for one Thunderbolt against the opponent, which would do a lot of damage, going to knock them out here, and we see the Ninetales come back in here. We can store one move, and we're going to see a Warren in the back. We have one shield down, Warren has Earthquake, there's nothing I can do in this matchup anymore. Isn't this amazing? We're at least going to be able to get one shield here from the opponent. We're going to call that they're going to no-shield the next one here. I'm going to shield this one because it's going to be Icicle Spear. Could have been Earthquake, but again, Icicle Spear would also do a lot of damage, and we will be able to go for an overheat here, doing some decent damage, go for the Brutal Swing here, maybe even get the shield from the opponent. Let's see here as well. We want to get the shield, which is nice, forcing them to throw as well. There might still be a way of winning this. Let's take a look at this. We will be able to go for one more Surf here. This is going to get them very low, but now it depends if we can farm on the Ninetales. But they had enough health to farm me down with Charm. That's going to be a good game. But yeah, this cup going to be most likely pretty RPS. Here we're actually going to be able to win this lead, kinda, but also not really, because I think Tentacruel can actually win this in the two-shield scenario, which is just a wild. Tentacruel is like such a wild Pokemon with just the Poison Jab together with the Acid Spray. It's just such a good Pokemon. Here we're gonna go for the bait. Successful, which is really nice for us, because now we can go straight for the Thunderbolt. They're actually gonna go for their own charge move here as well, which we're going to let go through as well. They're gonna go for another Acid Spray, and at this point of time, I'm just going to blind swap out after this one here, because we kind of have to. And we swap our Pelipper into a Lantern. So here you see again, I played pretty horrific this time around as well. This literally doesn't make any sense at all. There were like a lot more plays where I was like, okay, why did I do this? Like I could have played this so much better. But yeah, here I just want to get out of the lead matchup because of course we were 4 times debuffed. So we can go back into our Lantern here because our Pokemon in the back there, our Weezing, doesn't really appreciate it too much. I'm going to shield this move up here because it's going to be a Thunderbolt and this lets them waste a ton more energy here. It's going to be just a Surf, I think that was too early. And it's just going to be a Surf, so I can swap out here, keep my own Surf, go into my Weezing, and they're going to go ahead and go into their Ninetales. Now I'm going to go for the Overheat immediately after I baited the last time. Let's see what's going to happen. Of course, they're going to shield here. It's always the case. It's just amazing. Here we're going to see the Side Shock coming through here, but because we got debuffed now from the charge move Overheat there, we're going to not knock them out immediately here, and they can go for a charge move to knock me out. So that's not really ideal. Side Shock easily going to be enough. I can farm them down. Can I get to the charge move here? Why did I not throw my charge move there? Did they only have... They only had Lantern left. I am literally so bad at the game. Honestly, I thought they had another Pokemon left. That's why I thought I had to overfarm a little bit. That's literally so stupid. Honestly, I didn't have the best day today, definitely not. Here, the opponent before, by the way, I had Mawile Double Water. That wasn't really too good for the Lantern, but honestly, I'm shocked that I didn't even see that the opponent before only had 1 Pokemon left. I definitely thought while I was battling that they had 2 still left, but I guess it was the one that they already knocked out before, so that's embarrassing. But yeah, any game that I played here is in this video, of course, and there are quite a few mistakes, I definitely have to say that. But here we're going to let this move go through. Also a huge mistake by me, because if I just didn't do that, I think I would have been able to realign, which would have been so much better. And if you want to see me even doing more mistakes, at least you can learn from my mistakes here. I of course seen Peter here against the opponent, which was completely stupid. Could have thrown way earlier, could have not thrown at all. Like now I'm going to completely undercharge and try to get some energy with my Lantern, but it's not really ideal. You know what's also not really ideal? Trying to go for another Team Peter here, which is not really the way to go, because I didn't actually lock in the move though. Like I tried to click on it, but I didn't lock in. Can I at least farm a little bit extra? I can at least get also some extra energy here. But again, if I played it better with my Pelipper, I would have been so much better off as well. Here we're going to have now a lot more grass types coming in, which is not really ideal for us. Grass types going to be very good in this meta because, of course, there is a meta now out of water types, grass types, and fairy types. And grass type against grass is neutral, of course. Against water, you're super effective. And if you have Ferrothorn, you're actually going to be very effective against basically everything. Ferrothorn going to be one of the best Pokemon as well in the meta right now, and that's going to also knock me out here because, again, I played this pretty bad. If I played better, I would have been able to win this game for sure, most likely. But yeah, I played this really horrific in several occasions, so cannot really say anything about it. Honestly, it's sometimes just embarrassing to watch my battles if I literally play so bad, but happens. Here my opponent completely surprises me going for Play Rough. You don't really want to Play Rough in this meta. It doesn't really make too much sense. It gives you some better options, I guess, against Pelipper and Lantern, but you kind of want to have the bait move, and fire coverage in this meta, in a grass type meta, is very, very crucial anyway, so wouldn't really recommend you to go ahead and go for that. But here for this opponent, it definitely helped them out quite a bit. We're gonna have to go for one bait here as well. Maybe they think I've also Play Rough and they don't think this, and I can go ahead and shield up the potential Drill Run coming in. Maybe we could have tried to catch it, but I can at least go ahead and go for some Brutal Swing damage here against the opponent. Let's see what they're going to try to do here. They're going to shield this move up, and I can swap out immediately into my Pelipper. Maybe should have let some more fast moves go through against my other Pokemon, but hey, we're going to be able to at least go for one Weather Ball here, trying to get them low. Weather Ball gonna get them very low, but not low enough. We see the Tentacool coming in here, and we can go ahead and go for the bait move here. I expect them that they're going to shield this move up most likely, because they know already that I have a Pokemon in the back that can't really deal with that. And yes, I don't have I have a Pokemon here in the back that cannot really deal with Tentacool, so yeah, that's kind of fine. Because, yeah, you see here a little Brutal Swing going to do not enough. Like, I have to 3-shot them, and they have the move Acid Spray. So, honestly, Tentacool going to be the best Pokemon most likely for this meta. I don't think it's going to be Weezing, even though PvPoke says it. So, Tentacool is the Pokemon you kind of have to counter, the Pokemon that you kind of want to bring. Definitely one of the strongest Pokemon here. Next opponent, let's take a look at what they're going to run here. We're going to see the opponent going for one Trevenant in the lead. That's fine. We're going to be able to go ahead and go into our Weezing here, as we can swap, like we can see the swap in from the Tentacool. If you wondered why I went into my Weezing instead of my Pelipper, which usually is my safe swap, I was kind of scared from the lead there that they might have a Lantern in the back, which would make a lot of sense for a grass type lead to have a Lantern, because Lantern would be able to beat flying type Pokemon. But here we're going to see now the acid sprays coming through against us. We're at least going to be able to go for another brutal swing and force a shield by that, which is going to be pretty damn decent. And now we can go ahead and let the move go through, get the farm down here with our lantern, which is not going to be ideal to be fair, but at least going to be pretty decent to get some extra energy here. But it's still going to be able to get to another debuffing move here with the next acid spray. We are now 4 times debuffed, we had half our health, we have to swap out immediately, and we see the double weakness against flying type Pokemon here, which is amazing for us, because of course we are a flying type, we can go straight for the Hurricane, and they're going to not call this one, as I will be able to now farm them down afterwards. This is just a Bubble Beam, I don't really care too much about it, and like this should be at least a pretty decent game. But again, I actually kind of misplayed it a little bit, I think. Let's see, we're going to see the Seed Bomb coming through here. I'm going to go ahead and go for the bait move here. Let's see if they're going to call it or not. We will find out shortly. They're going to call it here as well, which is going to be very strong by the opponent. I kind of have to shield this next move up as well. But I put them with the fast move pressure that we have, because wing attack is super effective, and also the charge move pressure that we have here. We're going to get them into a range where one Thunderbolt going to knock them out, so it's going to be a very good game there. And we can see now the next opponent coming through, going to be the Lantern against the Weezing. That's going to be pretty decent for us, as this Weezing going to have not the best time against us, especially if they don't run Play Rough, of course. That's the main reason why we go for that one here. We will see the Brutal Swing coming through, so they most likely don't run Play Rough against us, which allows us to go for a Surf. You saw already in the matchup prior that 2 Surfs won't be enough to knock them out, but if they only have Brutal Swing anyway, I think going for 2 Surfs is the way to go. But as my opponent shield here, I can go for 1 Thunderbolt instead, which also going to put them basically to the same range here, which is amazing for us, as we can now go ahead and try to farm them all the way. Which might not work out that well, but now we're going to see the Tentacle coming in. I can go for the bait here first. Going to be the Surf coming through. Let's see how much damage it's going to do, of course. Just kidding, of course. The opponent going to shield this move up here, expecting it to be a Thunderbolt. I can only go for another Surf here. That's basically it, and they're going to let this move go through. Letting me go into my Pelipper here, which can tank one move. That's basically why I brought in Pelipper. Doesn't get super effective from like damage from something like the Scald. Also my other one doesn't, but at least neutral damage. And Scald is usually the secondary move for this Pokemon. I will be able to take this next charge move here onto my Weezing though. It's going to be the Acid Spray. I have a ton of energy on my Pelipper. You see the opponent's Weezing coming in. I can knock them out with my own one here. This charge move going to knock them out here, the Brutal Swing, and we see the opponent coming into a Quillfish. This is going to be an interesting matchup. I don't know if Quillfish wins CMP against my Pelipper in the back, because if Pelipper wins CMP, that's going to be a pretty clear game. We can go ahead and go for some Brutal Swing damage here at least. This will do some decent damage, put them very, very low, but I'm still going to throw some charge moves against them with my Pelipper, and I will be able to win the CMP, which is really, really decent for me, as this is going to knock them out here. And we now see the Tentacle coming in, which we're going to go ahead and go for another charge move as well, as this is going to win us this game. Next and final game here, I think we're going to see another hard counter Pokemon here with the Ferrothorn. We have to swap out immediately, and we're going to get the Mantine out of it again. Mantine is way better than the Pelipper in terms of the mirror matchup here, because it just has access to the move Ice Beam, which you get faster to, and it's going to put us into a range where we can get farmed down basically by the opponent. While Hurricane takes longer and is not as efficient, as we will be able to go at least still for another charge move here. Again, you can use also the Pelipper instead of the Mantine instead of the Pelipper in this team here. We will be able to just tank those moves with our Lantern here, and we can farm all the way down, trying to get as much energy as I can. And I can swap out immediately afterwards. Let's see what's coming in here. We're going to see, of course, the Ferrothorn, and now we're going to see the what's called the Weezing. I'm going to let this first move go through. It's going to be a Brutal Swing, which is a very decent bait for us, as we now basically can go ahead and go straight for the Overheat. That's going to do some decent damage if it would land, but it didn't land. And like this, it's going to be a little bit tough of coming back here, especially as my opponent going to bait me the entire time. Like, they literally haven't gone for one Play Rough yet, or like for one Overheat yet, which is kind of wild. So we will be able to now sheet up the move from the opponent. Brutal Swing, not going to do too much damage anyway. Very good bait by the opponent, but we're at least going to be able to catch the move here, which actually going to be the Brutal Swing. So there seem to be either single moved or like one different. I actually know what like I don't know why they went for that. I literally don't know. But we're at least going to be able to go for one Thunderbolt against the opponent. That's definitely going to make it up for, right? Not really, they can knock us out here. We have to basically go straight for our overheat here in order to knock out the opponent. And now it just depends if we can do enough damage against the final Pokemon here, which is going to be the Weezing, and we can actually still get to the overheat in order to win this game, which is amazing. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like. On the right side, you're going to see the last top team video, and on the left side, you're going to see the last video. Otherwise, you're going to see the most likely top teams later on my channel as well, so subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you there.